guys, what's up? So been getting a lot of questions here lately on what I do as a tank and how I do it from some of y'all, so I thought I'd make a quick video here and go through some of the things I do. So start off, Nord is always my go-to race on this. The passes on it are just hard to beat. You know, you get the increased duration of any drink with max health, frost resistance, which ain't that big, max stam, and ulti generation is the huge one, which makes this a no-brainer for me, not to mention the physical and the spell resistances you get with it. Second is I always run with the Boon Atronaut, magical regen. My glyphs are truly superb glyph of defense and reduced skill cost. I always go with infused on my jewelry, Ozark's Smoke Bear Hunch, and Ozark's Red Frothgar for magical recovery, which is what I normally run in dungeons and easier content, along with your standard tripods. Pretty simple there. Your champion points, liquid efficiencies, rationer, Steed's Blessing, treasure hunter, greens, kind of what you want, basic blues, ironclad, unassailable, duelist rebuff, and enduring resolve. Red tree to me is where you separate tanks, expert evasion, bracing anchor for your block mitigation, ward master for more damage reduction from your shields, and shield master, so cost reduction to your shields. And we'll get into why I use these a little bit later in the skills and stuff. Basic sets, I have two basic sets, Pearlescent, Lucent Echoes. That's always my trial sets. They're great sets, good go-tos. When I'm main tanking, I normally pair one of them with Turning Tide and Nazare. Proc Turning Tide, hit your horn, Nazare goes up. Great damage boost. When I'm off tanking, if I don't have a Zen Kosh, I generally go with Crimson Oath and Tremor Scale. Pin is hugely important in this game and a massive DPS increase. On boss, the Masters Perfected set is hard to beat, and on trash I generally run the Vider Shands Power Bash set because you can pair it with Power Bash, and there we go. So I have a basic bar set up here. This is my dungeon bar set up with trash. As you can see, my flex spots are always on the end, skill number 5, so I just kind of go with that. So as I flex in and out for different snares and different setups, my skills stay the same. I generally like to set my health around 40k, a little over. My stamina is close to 19k as I can get it. My magic is just a little bit behind it. You always want stamina as your dominant resource, right? The reason for that being is your synergies primarily restore your dominant resource most of the time. Some synergies restore more than others, so you want it to be restoring your stamina. Hugely important thing that nobody explains to a lot of the newer players here. So we'll go through a few things that make the DK special. The first one is combustion. There's a few skills you can use to help out. This one really makes the leeching set itself apart. I've heard people bash the leeching set in the past. For new tanks, this is great, and this video is all around introduction to your vet content and what you need to do to be able to tank veteran content, right? So this will be a huge help with your healing and a huge help with your stamina restore, and as you progress a little bit more, you get into the other sets. This is not made as a hard mode guide, so this is basic veteran tanking. A few things that really are important to understand on the DK to me, as far as a tanking perspective goes, is your Mountain's Blessing is a huge passive. When you cast an Earthen Heart ability, you give you and your group minor brutality for 20 seconds, which increases your weapon and weapon damage by 10%. When you're in combat, you also generate 3 ultimate every 6 seconds. Ultimate is huge. The more ultimate you get, the more horns you get, the more survivability you get. So it's a really big thing in the game. Now moving on to the next one is Helping Hands. When you cast an Earthen Heart ability with the cost, you restore 1120 stamina. This is a big one that really works, because if you look at your Ignis Shield, every time you cast Ignis Shield, you're going to generate ultimate, you're going to shield your allies, you're going to give minor brutality, and you're going to generate stamina, which is what makes the DK so special when it comes to maintaining, I guess is how you would say it. But it's a huge passive that's important to understand. Now my skills, I go with your basic setup, Pierce Armor. That's without being said. Ignis Shield, this is your friend. It's hard to overcast this. I use defensive stance on boss setups, which is a really nice boost. Choking Talons on trash for my CC. It also gives a synergy, a little bit of extra damage. I liked hardened armor just for the extra shield. I mean, I don't really struggle with resources. Power Bash for when I'm on trash, running the Power Bash set to proc it, and Revealing Flare on bosses. Shield Discipline's my ulti. I think this ulti is severely underrated. It's 8 seconds, so you can actually get a res off if you target it right most of the time. If you have quick res slotted, you will get a res off. I've saved a lot of groups with this and a lot of different content. So, great ability, severely underrated for an ultimate. Another great ultimate is Magma Shell. I do run this one a good bit in certain instances, notably the Reef Guardian. In BDSR, it is great for that. Back bar, Inner Rage, basic, gives us energy. Green Dragon Blood, always on my bar, great skill, I like it. I run Accelerate for trash and movement just to get around, plus the passive gives a free damage shield, Resolving Vigor on bosses for the extra heal, plus the minor resolve. Unstable Wall of Frost. Now on Unstable Wall of Frost, what you got to think about is if you have an infused ice staff with the Crusher enchant, not only are you giving a shield, but you're also proccing your Crusher enchant, stripping off more resistances, more DPS. The faster the boss goes down, the easier our job is. Plain and simple. Great skill. Unrelenting Grip for chaining in the long adds. Aggressive Warhorn, always on my bar, I always use it. Here's a little bit of gameplay where you can see it in action. Now I always run infused on my jewelry with the skill cost reduction. As you can see, there's very seldom I'm not casting a skill. The more skills I get off with the less heavy attacks, the more damage you're going to put out, the more you're going to help your group, and the better off you are. I hope this video helps. Like I said, this isn't meant to be a hard mode. There's a lot of other tanks out there that's way better than me when you get into hard mode content and stuff. But if you're wanting a basic setup that will carry you through all vet content in the game, I've tanked everything in this game with this setup right here and those 2 basic skill bars. So hope you enjoy it, and good luck. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up or DM me.